Snake vs. Chick. Chapter 1, The Encounter. Once upon a time, in a lively meadow surrounded by tall grass, a baby snake named Slither was enjoying a warm sunny day. Slither had just hatched from his egg and was excitedly exploring his surroundings. As he slithered through the grass, he came across a fluffy yellow chick named Cheep. Cheep was pecking at the ground, searching for tasty worms. When he spotted Slither, he flapped his wings and chirped, "Hey, you! Look at me, I can fly! I'm way better than you!" Slither, feeling a little offended, raised his tiny head and replied, "Flying might be cool, but can you slither as gracefully as I do? I can glide through the grass without making a sound. That's way cooler." Chapter 2, The Comparison Game. Curious to prove who was truly superior, Cheep and Slither decided to engage in a friendly competition. They agreed to meet by the old oak tree at the edge of the meadow the next day. The morning arrived, and both contenders were ready to showcase their unique talents. Cheep hopped onto a low branch and spread his wings wide. With a mighty flap, he soared into the sky, swirling and twirling with delight. The birds in the sky sang in awe of his graceful flight. Meanwhile, Slither started his demonstration. He coiled his body and began to slither through the tall grass, effortlessly maneuvering around obstacles. His scales shimmered in the sunlight, creating a mesmerizing sight. As they finished their respective displays, they couldn't help but admire each other's skills. Cheep landed on a branch, panting, and said, "Slither, I must admit, your slithering is impressive. It's a talent I don't possess." Slither, catching his breath, replied, "And your flight, Cheep, is truly remarkable. I could never soar so high in the sky like you do." Chapter 3, An Unlikely Friendship. The competition had taught both Cheep and Slither that comparing themselves wasn't the key to happiness. Instead, they realized that embracing their own unique abilities and appreciating others' strengths was the path to friendship. From that day on, Cheep and Slither became the best of friends. They would spend their days exploring the meadow together, Cheep fluttering above, and Slither gracefully slithering below. They discovered that their different perspectives allowed them to see the world in a whole new light. Their friendship became an inspiration for the other animals in the meadow. They learned that there was no need to compete or argue over who was better. Instead, they could celebrate their differences and learn from one another. And so, with their newfound friendship and the meadow as their playground, Cheep and Slither lived happily ever after, reminding everyone that true greatness lies in unity and acceptance. The end.